And now for the small business owners or entrepreneurs, you now know the agencies that we have in Nigeria that is responsible for funding small businesses. You can go there, apply and go through their processes, and you have your money for your business. Now, we have a guest and we are looking at leveraging technological innovations in agripreneurship for development, sustainable economic development. And we have our resource person with us in the studio this morning to talk to us more and extensively on this topic. Help us welcome Engineer Abayomi Onasanya, who is the Global Director, Africa House. Engineer, you're welcome to the program.
Good morning. Thank you for
Yes.
having me. Thank you so much.
So this morning we want to know how we can leverage on technology innovation to agripreneurship. Now, for a starter, for a beginner, people that will see this word agripreneurship because it's such a long word. What is it all about? Let's start from there.
Again, good morning, Abuja. Good morning, Nigeria. Agripreneurship or an agripreneur is basically, in the simplest term, is somebody, an entrepreneur who is in the field of agriculture. You see, so basically, someone who is in the business of agriculture, which could be farming itself, it could be all areas of agriculture, in fact. So anyone in that, it could be beekeeping, it could be farming, it could be fishery. Anyone in that sphere is an agripreneur. So hence the word agripreneurship.
Okay. Now that we've known the meaning of agripreneur, now let's look at the role that technological innovations play in modern agripreneurship.
Well, thank you for that question because this is a topic, an area that we've not been discussing much in Nigeria. And technology, as you know, enhances everything. You see, it makes things move faster, it makes everything run smoothly. And over the last couple of decades in Africa, we have not incorporated agro technology into agripreneurship. And as a result, we're running an inefficient agricultural systems. What does that mean? Imagine you as a farmer knowing exactly when to put fertilizer on your farm.
Yes.
Imagine knowing exactly the next rainfall. Imagine knowing when to irrigate your farm, and also knowing exactly how much you're going to get from what you've planted and the potential profits. Technology in agriculture gives you all of that. So it's important. It's an important topic because we need to start inculcating all these technological innovations that exist around the world into what we do in Africa and in Nigeria, so that our food production becomes very efficient. You're getting the maximum yield from your agricultural practices. You see, it will even tell you, okay, how much am I going to get on one hectare of farm? And not only that, I don't want to just jump the gun here, but agripreneur technology is very, very important, very vital. The sooner we start using technology in agriculture in Africa, the better we will be as a continent and as a nation.
So technology now is farming has made farming easy.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, let's look at how can precision farming technology improves crop yield.
Okay, precision farming. What is precision farming? Basically involves knowing doing what you're supposed to do at the exact time. In agriculture in Nigeria, and of course because of climate change, the raining patterns have changed. I was speaking to someone last night and they said, "Oh, it's been raining cats and dogs in Ibadan since." I was like, "Really? Like, it's not raining here?" Yeah, it's been raining there. So for a farmer now, he doesn't know when the rainfall system is no longer predictable. As a result, the farmer doesn't know when he's supposed to till the ground, when he's supposed to do weeding, when he's supposed to harvest and all that. So when precision farming basically gives you that edge, to be able to overcome the challenges of climate change. What is precision farming? For example, let's say you have a parcel of land in Abuja and that's your farm. You want to plant corn. You see, with precision farming, you will know that this is not the right time to plant. This is the right time to put fertilizers. This is the right time to harvest before the next wind or hurricane comes. You see, so precision farming gives you that efficient and accurate timing to everything you're doing. So precision farming is important, and precision farming can come in different ways. By the way, it can come in form of irrigation. And for example, you have a farm in Kebbi State where water is a challenge sometimes. Precision farming would allow you to have systems that will switch on your irrigation systems at a particular time. You know, when sensors will tell you that, see, the soil is dry, or you need to, the soil needs 2 mm of water. And with precision farming, technology will allow you, even in your house, to just press a button on your phone, and then the sprinkler system will come up by itself, and it will give the exact amount of water or fertilizer your crop needs. And after that, it will shut itself up. So you're saving water, and you're giving the crop exactly what it is. So precision farming is an area that is very, very interesting that we need to start doing even yesterday, not even today.
Let's talk about what are the economic benefits of adopting smart irrigation system in agricultural practices.
Wow, wow. This particular question is something I'm passionate about, because as Africa House is one area that we're doing, and one of our core areas is irrigation, smart irrigation. See, if you don't have smart irrigation, you are at the mercy of rainfall. If it doesn't fall, if the rain doesn't fall, you are in trouble. You cannot grow anything. You cannot till your soil. You cannot have a bountiful harvest.
Yes.
But with smart irrigation now, you can literally plant crops out of season. You can decide, okay, fine, because now in Nigeria, we have like planting season and then dry season, especially in the north. So if it doesn't rain, farmers don't even bother to go to the farm. But with smart irrigation now, number one advantage is we can do all year round farming. You can decide to plant rice in dry season. You can decide to plant corn even when there's no rainfall. So with smart irrigation systems, we have systems in place that can irrigate thousands and thousands and thousands of hectares. And then we can start producing enough food so that during scarcity, like for example, when the tomato season is conventionally over, then with smart irrigation, you can be planting tomatoes. So prices of tomato, a basket of tomato won't go as high as 200,000 to 50,000 naira. So the prices will become stable. That's another advantage. With smart irrigation technologies, prices will be stable. You can now say that you can buy a basket of tomato for 1,500 naira for 12 months. You know how happy Nigerians will be? Yeah. Instead of buying it for God knows how much they're selling it today. You see what I'm saying? So smart irrigation has those two key benefits, you see. And the third benefit that I see to it is that eventually we will attract young farmers into the business. Yeah. Because the era of, so these children, they've been watching us, like our grandfathers go to farm with hoes and cutlasses. This is dirty. I want to be sophisticated, I'm educated. Yeah. But with smart irrigation, the guy says, okay, fine. I'll use tractors, I'll use technology to set up my farm, and I can watch everything on my iPad, even in my office, in my AC office, you see. So this is the advantage. You will attract more people into this particular industry, and of course, in the end, our bellies will be full with food, and then there will be less crime, and everybody will be happy.
Let's talk about hydroponics. How can vertical farming and hydroponics contribute to sustainable urban agriculture and food security?
Wow, now you are hitting on the areas that are my speciality.
Yes.
You see, hydroponics is something that we've been doing as an organization for the last 10 years. Okay. And then we've been advocating across the continent, and thankfully our actions are bearing fruits now. Hydroponics farming is interesting because, number one, you are getting more than the conventional harvest. Let's say tomato, for example, like the example I use a lot. On a plot of land, a simple plot of land, let's say land about 350 square meters, all right? With hydroponics, if you're farming it efficiently, you can get up to maybe 60 tons. Exactly. And if you're going to get 60 tons on the field, you know how many hectares of land you need. So number one is the yield. You get a higher yield. Much. And also you're able to grow food all year round, 12 months. There are fruit varieties in hydroponics that you can keep for 12 years, for 12 months, or even 2-3 years. Like there's a tomato breed called ever-bearing tomato. You plant it once, and in hydroponics you can harvest for the next 2 to 5 years without even having to replant.
Really?
Exactly.
Wow.
But in the conventional farm, you finish your 3 months of farming, you just wait for the next year, and then whatever. And then another advantage is your harvest is healthy. Because when you harvest from the farm, you have to wash, you have to do this, have to disinfect. But with hydroponics, because there's absence of pests and diseases, you can harvest from the tree and start eating it. You see, so it's healthy, and you can also do organic farming with hydroponics, you see. And the most important of all, in my opinion, is you can grow anything anywhere. That's hydroponics for you. And I always tell people, you can even grow food in the Sahara Desert with hydroponics. And the Middle East, they're doing that now. In those days, you discover that they used to import tomatoes from India, mango from this and what. But now with hydroponics, countries are now investing billions of dollars in hydroponics to produce food that would normally not grow there. I was watching a video from Netherlands, and then they have this huge hydroponics farm, massive, massive, massive. They employ hundreds of people working in this farm, and the tomato they produce there alone can feed the whole of Abuja. It's simple. It's just that's just one farm. So your output is great, your food is clean, you can grow food in and out of season, and as a result, you are creating jobs. You see, so hydroponics is one technology everybody, even every state in Nigeria, should invest heavily on because it pays off. I'll use one last example in hydroponics. In Iran, they have this is hydroponics farm I know, it's 50 hectares. 50 hectares of hydroponics farm, only planting tomatoes. This farm produces so much tomatoes that they can supply the entire needs of the country from that single farm, so much so that they are now exporting the tomatoes to other regions, to Azerbaijan, to Russia, and to the CIS. You by container loads. So hydroponics not only provides you that opportunity to feed yourself, it gives an opportunity for an income to make money, export forex that we're all looking for as a nation.
Wow, as you're responding, I feel like joining the farmers already. And you're making it so easy, but there is no way that agripreneurs is without challenges. I want you to highlight some of the challenges agripreneurs face in adopting new technologies.
Well, number one challenge, well, there are a couple of challenges, but I like to. One of them is access to these technologies. For example, if you look at there's a technology now, drone technology in agriculture
Yes.
that allows you to do like what they call like a digital sensing. What that means basically is a drone will fly over a territory of land, and then it will intelligently will tell you that this particular portion of that land that we surveyed is lacking so and so nutrients. This area needs water. This area is this. So the computer will decide and tell you, will give you like a map of all the area that you have scanned, and will tell you, in this area, don't plant tomato. This area plant vegetable. This area plant ugu. This area plant cucumber. You see, oftentimes those type of technologies are very expensive, and it has to be either done by the private sector who will now lease the technology out to the farmers, agripreneurs at very subsidized rates. This is where government needs to come in to say, you know what, fine, the technology is maybe $2 million, for example, but for farmers, we'll provide the service to you on per use basis. Okay, instead of going to buy $2 million worth of equipment, come and pay us 100,000 naira per year, and we'll do the sensing and the survey, and we'll give you the data that other farmers also can use. So, technically, the cost is number one a challenge. And the second challenge is the mentality. People, change is something that is often resisted, at first, and people will say, no, why should I fly this thing over my farm, especially the rural farmer, rural agripreneurs. They say, no, what are these things they are doing on my farm? Some people will say, oh, why would you put sensor on my farm? Because in the West, we do sensor farming as well, where you put electronic gadgets inside the soil, you bury it in the soil, and it will be giving you data about your soil on a real-time basis. It will say, okay, now the soil is too dry, please go and irrigate. Or the soil is lacking nitrogen or phosphorus, go and put this, go and put that. But if you go to the rural farmers and say, I want to bury some of this technology, say, no, they are burying juju in my farm.
That is where awareness comes in.
Awareness comes in, oh, they are burying juju in my farm. And then, this myth and all that. So we need to, do an orientation to say, farmers, see, these are the technologies, this is what it is. It has nothing to do with taboo or whatever. Like, there's this incident that happened in IIT at that time, that when they were giving them seed yams, all this new variety of yams, they were like, okay, put this in your soil, it will grow. They said, no, 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 no. It is a taboo in our state for you to, it's a myth. If you put this, the gods will not allow your yams to grow and whatnot and whatnot. And it took years and years, for them to be able to, inculcate that technology into what they're doing. So those two are, I believe, in my opinion, those are the two major challenges. We need to orient people, and at the same time, we need to help them with accessing this technology in Nigeria.
Thank you so much, Engineer Abayemi, for coming on our program and
Thank
for
you.
giving us this information. Let me say free of charge. We do really appreciate your
Thank you.
time.
It's a pleasure.
Yes, we've heard it all from our resource person. Key in as a farmer, or you have intention to go into farming, key into technology. It has made farming easy now. The program has been Good Morning Abuja. Let's go on this quick break. When we come back, we have more for you. Stay with us, please.